Reverend Frederick Dalcho, 33rd degree. I'm here to visit the grave of arguably one of the most important Freemasons to have ever lived. He was a physician from South Carolina. And no, it wasn't Albert Mackey. He was also a minister, a historian, a Masonic scholar. He's one of the original 11 gentlemen of Charleston, the men who founded the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite. He's also the first man to have ever received a 33rd degree patent. His final resting place is in the same cemetery as two signers of the U.S. Constitution, Charles Pinckney and John Rutledge, both of whom were Freemasons. He's laid to rest here at St. Michael's Churchyard in Charleston, South Carolina. Reverend Frederick Dalcho, 33rd degree.
George Gibson, 33rd degree active inspector general for this jurisdiction of the United States of North America, her territories and dependencies, AASR, in a letter to the Evening Star on the subject of Scottish Rite history says, having familiarized myself somewhat with the history of Scottish Rite Masonry, I cannot let pass an article that appeared in the Star of the 30th relative to the Southern Council without calling attention to a number of inaccuracies stated therein. It says that the first register of the Supreme Council of the Southern jurisdiction was sent out in 1801, and that it shows that 9 citizens of South Carolina made up the first council. The first circular sent out was dated December 4th, 1802, and had 5 signatories. John Mitchell is named as the first commander, but he was commander of the Supreme Council for the United States. It says that Dr. Dalcho succeeded John Mitchell as commander, whereas in March 1822, a letter signed by Moses Holbrook and James W. Rouse, members of the organization, stated that on the deathbed of Mitchell, Dr. Frederick Dalcho became Grand Commander, but being influenced, refused to call his council together. In 1866, Albert Pike said, I repeat, in 1866, Albert Pike said, Dalcho refused to act at all, meaning to destroy the council utterly. And the commander of the northern jurisdiction said Dr. Dalcho retained in his own possession everything he had appertaining to the council, manuscripts and papers of every description, and absolutely refused to deliver them up. The article states that Jacob D. LaMotta succeeded to the office, whereas in 1866, Mr. Pike said the northern jurisdiction refused to send the Southern Supreme Council anything after Jacob D. LaMotta had sold its manuscripts to some members of the Kurnow Council. In 1866, the commander of the Northern Council said, the Southern Supreme Council for the last 40 years has been a myth and a dream. Mr. Pike said, if it was a myth, it was so precisely as the Northern Supreme Council was, which was for a long time inactive and idle, having had no printed records prior to 1851. The article further says that Mr. Furman was another commander, whereas the published records of the Southern Council, dated April 4th, 1861, state the office of Lieutenant Grand Commander having been made vacant by the removal of Brother Furman to the rank of emeritus member, Bro James Penn was unanimously elected to fill the vacancy, showing that Mr. Furman never was commander. So what I'm saying is, why is the southern jurisdiction of the Scottish Rite honoring a man that Albert Pike stated utterly tried to destroy something and wouldn't send anything? It seems like the Scottish Rite in these days and times are honoring all entities that once disrespected Albert Pike. I feel they've been infiltrated or they're misguided. They don't even know their history. If Albert Pike spoke that someone disrespected him and their southern jurisdiction, why are they today rubbing elbows with them and always trying to assist in the propagating of you going to be a member of there as well? Because today they say you could be a member of both. Caveat emptor. Either they're lying to you or they're misguiding you. I leave you in love and peace.